game down 266 to go. Welcome to the 2019 NFL season, and welcome to NFL Total Access, presented by EA Sports Madden NFL 20. Lindsey Rhodes alongside Scott Hansen, LaDainian Tomlinson, David Carr, and Willie McGinnis.
Football's back, and if your nostalgia goes back to the 1920s, the final score of this game is for you. Let's go to Soldier Field, where the NFL kicked off its 100th season. What a venerable stadium.
Look, he's fired up.
The new defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers, they were celebrating with him on the sideline. Offense, this looked like preseason week number 5 as opposed to regular season week number 1. Both quarterbacks just barely over 200 yards passing. A lot of that for Trubisky was late when they were trying to come from behind right there. Both quarterbacks under 100 in passer rating. We're going to have a lot of post-game coverage coming up. The game has just gone final at Soldier Field. When the interviews begin and when the guys get to the podium, you'll see it live here on NFL Total Access. Lindsey?
Petten, get the game ball?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that defense. Sure. And I'm going to mess with you a little bit because before today, you said the offenses will have a faster start and look a little more crisp.
I'm just offensive biased.
I know, but I got to hold you to that. And I said that the defense would probably look better. Chicago defense, I give them an A+. They did everything you could possibly ask to put them in position to win the game. No offense generated. And when you look at Green Bay, they started off slow as well, but a lot had to do with Chicago's defense. But that defense for the Green Bay Packers showed that they are versatile. They can make a lot of plays. They're good on every single level. And when they needed to play tight coverage and come up with big plays, they did that.
Well, were they better than you expected them to be?
We knew that they would be good on paper, but we hadn't seen them. So a lot of times you need that continuity. You need time to gel versus the Chicago Bears. Only 2 new defenders on that side. So we thought they would look the way they look. But for Green Bay, we knew they were talented. We just didn't know how they would come out and look tonight.
That was the hard part for me, is talking about thinking that the offense would have the advantage because you have the element of surprise. You have all this time, especially if you're on the Green Bay Packers side, and to still only put up 10 points. You have Matt LaFleur. He can do whatever he wants on offense.
And we didn't know.
And we didn't know. We have no idea, so you think that, okay, there's an advantage there possibly. But when you look at it, and you got the Chicago Bears defense, you rush 4 guys, you can pretty much handle everything that they throw at you. The Chicago Bears got too cute. The Green Bay Packers, there were so many delay of games and timeouts burnt in situational football. I mean, that was bad football. That was the hard part. I think it's just a lack of playing in the preseason a little bit. Okay, so that's a very real thing. Like, I don't necessarily think that Aaron Rodgers needs a ton of reps throwing the football. He can clearly make plays, but it's the mechanics of the football. It's you can never simulate play clock in practice. Like, coaches don't care about that. They're busy talking on the sideline. It's when you get in the flow of the game, there's a certain speed that takes place that you got to get the play in. Too many times they're breaking the huddle with 12 seconds left on the clock, 10 seconds. And if you're going to go up there and ask Aaron to kind of get through a package of 2 or 3 plays, you can't do that in 10 seconds.
Did we see enough from the running backs tonight?
Not from the Chicago Bears. I thought early on they tried to get a little bit too cute. If you remember the first play of the game, they came out with 3 running backs. Why do you do that?
And it was
I know
a
you
fumble.
want to display all your running backs, but that just was a little bit too cute to me.
Well, that was like the
And
nod
they
to
did
the
that
NFL
throughout
100.
Oh, well, going back to a traditional, but we're trying to win a game at this point. Congratulations, the NFL is 100. But we're trying to win the game.
We got a game to win.
But going back to Mike Pettine. Mike Pettine was my defensive coordinator with the Jets, and you know how they say styles make fights. I thought his style of defense tonight, what he did, bringing blitzes off the corners, I thought that really messed with the Chicago Bears offense and Mitchell Trubisky. He really never looked comfortable because Mike Pettine had the blitzes coming from different angles, different sides, the middle, the end. So, again, Pettine did a great job of really confusing the Chicago Bears offense.
When you look at this Chicago Bears offense, you would think, I think, that their strength is in the backfield. We heard so much about David Montgomery during training camp, and then they have Tariq Cohen. And
he had a couple nice plays, Montgomery.
Mike Davis.
They bring in Mike Davis. Trubisky threw the ball 45 times. Running backs got 12 carries, and Tariq Cohen had none of them. Was that just the flow of the game? Did they just get away from what they wanted to do? How does that happen?
Sometimes when you have so many shiny new toys, you don't know which one to play with. And I think, for the Bears got caught in having all these new toys, 3 running backs. How are we going to use them? Because remember, Tariq Cohen was the only one there last year. So they're trying to figure out how to use these guys. And develop Mitchell Trubisky at the same time. They want him to take that next step in his development. So I think they just got caught up in trying to use all these guys with Mitchell Trubisky, trying to develop him. And at the same time, sometimes you just need to keep it simple. Go back to running the football with David Montgomery and Tariq Cohen, and then sometimes sprinkle in Mike Davis. But I just thought, way too cute tonight.
LT, when I looked at this offense for the Chicago Bears initially, I agree. I thought they were too gimmicky. Like, don't come out and start the game and give your offensive line, your players confidence by having a lot of different gimmick plays. Yeah. Like, you didn't really establish anything, and you couldn't get going. So that's telling me as a defender, maybe you wasn't really confident in what the game plan was or what you had going into the game. If you're trying to trick me the first couple of series of the game, you've got really good, talented players at every position. Line up, establish the line of scrimmage, run the ball, whether it's Mike Davis, Montgomery, run the football. You don't have to have three backs, bring a guy in motion, a fake reverse pitch here, fumble. They wasn't even on the same page. Yeah. And then once they got going, I just didn't see it from Mitchell Trubisky taking that next step in his second year. He wasn't able to sit back there and throw the ball consistently down the field. And a lot had to do with the defensive backs from the Green Bay Packers. They played great coverage. They knew where to go. They identified with the routes and what they were doing, and they made great plays on the football. But I just didn't see that explosive offense I thought I would see in the second year of Matt Nagy's offense.
Yeah, it's tough because, and you talked about it when we were in the green room, LT. It's like the inside zone run was as simple as that was. It was effective for them, and no matter what back they had in there. But then they started gimmicking it up, 4th and 1, and you do the fake zone read, and you try and throw a flat route to your back or to your tight end who's covered like a blanket, and then Mitch doesn't really have anywhere to go with the football. It's very difficult to establish a rhythm at the offensive line position or offense in general if you're not really establishing some type of real run game. If you're just tricks and smoke screens, teams are just going to line up, play base, and watch you kind of do your tricks and then play real football against you. So
don't make a play.
Yeah, exactly.
The first half of this game, well, really, ultimately, the whole game came down to one touchdown scored between the two teams. Yeah. And that touchdown was by virtue of basically two big passes, starting with just the long, almost chuck and duck type pass into single coverage that Rodgers hit. Take us through the Marquez Valdez.
Yeah, so what it was, I mean, this was what we've kind of been talking about when you look at it from an offensive scheme standpoint. Rodgers lobbed the football up there, nice down the middle, but it's the scheme that we're going to see more of. We're going to see, honestly, a lot more of that. The run game was not very good. You talked about the run game for the Packers and how they're going to kind of try and get up the field and attack that zone run. And there were several times where there were 3 and 4 defensive linemen for the Bears in the backfield. So that didn't really let them establish that at all. They had to kind of just rely on Aaron Rodgers.
Well, with that, though, I thought Matt LaFleur did a good job of staying patient with the run. And that set up a lot of the stuff that was successful for them later in the game, the play action stuff. You know, when they started to move the ball, that came off of play action passes. So I thought Matt LaFleur, he did a great job of just being patient. He knew early in the game the Bears were going to stop the run. They're really good up front, a really good defense. So sometimes you're not going to get 4 yards, 5 yards. The run is not going to break out. But with Aaron Rodgers, all you need is just the play action or the attempt to run the football to get things open for him.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the guy who got into the end zone tonight. No doubt we will see a lot of that for Devontae Adams, though, this season. He caught up with Stacey Dales after the game.
Packers wide receiver Devontae Adams, who you just told me we got it done. Kind of ugly, right? But Matt LaFleur, in his first game as a head coach, what was his preparation like this week that allowed you to come into an environment like this and win?
I mean, we had pretty good preparation, man. He had our heads on straight, you know, a lot of focus in that building. Obviously, credit to this defense. They came out and they did their thing. We already knew what they were about, and it's something that he echoed throughout the week. But, we got to be cleaner moving forward. But first game, we got the W, like you said, so that's really what matters.
We've talked all offseason about what we're going to see with this offense. You just said it was ugly and got to clean it up. But, you know, what is this thing? What do we see tonight, and how far away is it from getting where you want it?
I don't think it's too far. I don't think we put the display on film what we wanted to do today. But like I said, you know, we got plenty of time, and we're going to take advantage this week, and hopefully, you know, we come out faster and stronger next week.
How about that Adrian Amos pick?
That was beautiful, man. No better person to come through with that for us at the end.
Right after 4 years in Chicago. Lastly, what's this been like, the magnitude of this rivalry, 100 years of football, to kick off the 2019 NFL season, to go home with a win.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. This is it's obviously it's an epic rivalry, you know, age old. So it's beautiful to be able to play in this. Obviously, extremely excited that we came out with it today. Like I said, it wasn't what we wanted to do, you know, but we came out on top. So we add another in the win column for the Packers.
Enjoy this one.
Well, thank you.
It's a work in progress, but they get the W at the end of the day. That's all that matters. Yep. And we will bring you more interviews from this one as soon as they come in, waiting for Aaron Rodgers and Mitchell Trubisky to step to the podium. We'll go there live.
Yeah, so football is back, and hey, Thursday night football.
Rodgers takes a quick snap, penalty marker down, 3 down for Rodgers. He lost right side of the end zone into a crowd. It's caught, giving ground, touchdown! Like a basketball center in the pivot, in the right side of the end zone, and the Packers have taken the lead.
Well, that was the first offensive touchdown in the Matt LaFleur era, and this game is the first win in the Matt LaFleur era for the Green Bay Packers. The rookie head coach at the podium at Soldier Field.
How's everyone doing? I just want to start off, man, what a hard-fought football game. You got to give the Bears a ton of credit. We knew they were going to be a really tough opponent, and they were for 4 quarters. We knew it was going to be a 4-quarter battle, and just really proud of our defense, the effort. I mean, I thought they were smothering. I thought our special teams really picked up the slack, and you know, obviously we got a lot of room for improvement from the offensive side of the ball.
What was your first evaluation, not seeing the film yet, but your first evaluation of the offensive side?
Yeah, just like I said, there's going to be a lot to learn from. And, you know, it starts with myself. So, you know, I just can't tell you how proud I am of the effort that we gave, though, and to come out of here with a victory.
You said you were going to keep your emotions in check all week. Did they at least come out a little bit when the final seconds were ticking away?
You know what? I think there was a lot going through my mind at the time. So I probably didn't savor in the moment too much because I know it's one game and we've got a really tough opponent coming up next week, and you just got to take it week by week in this league.
What did you learn about your defense tonight?
I just thought that it seemed like that they were all over the place. You know, it felt like we were getting pretty good pressure. I thought the coverage was on point, and you know that's a great credit not only to those players but our coaching staff as well. I thought Mike Pettin and our staff on defense designed a great game plan, and certainly were able to get some free runners tonight.
The 3 free agents you guys signed, Zadarius, Preston, both have sacks. Adrian has the interception. There were pressures. What did those 3 give you?
Yeah, they gave us a big boost, that's for sure. You know, and it was great for Adrian to come in here and close out that game with a pick right there at the end. But yeah, I'm extremely happy that Goody and his crew did a great job of getting those guys for us because they were a difference tonight.
How did you feel about the tempo on offense? There were times where it looked pretty fast and other times where it was slow.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot to improve upon, and again, it starts right here with myself. So we'll take a look at the film and we'll get it corrected and we'll be better.
Do you want to play faster than that more often?
Yeah, I think it's all in the flow of the game, and you know there were times when we wanted to jump the ball. That's a really good defense. You got to give them credit, and we knew that coming in. I mean, they've got players on all 3 levels, and they did a tremendous job.
This is your first victory as a head coach in Chicago. How special is that for you?
Oh, it's extremely special, but I'm just so happy for the guys in that locker room. I'm more happy for them. Again, the effort. I really love this team and what they're about. The men in that room, not only the players, but the coaches as well.
First 3 series. Lost yards and then having to call a timeout at the start of that 4th one. Did it feel like Aaron's throw there to Marquez kind of, you know, just help kind of lift everything up a little bit or just settle people down maybe in a way, or what did you feel like that play did?
Yeah, it was a huge play in the game. I mean, you're talking about I think it was a 46-yard pass right there, and then we were able to jump the ball and get another pass out to Mercedes in the flat, and so it definitely gave us the spark that we needed, and you know, it was our only touchdown drive.
How much do you think having the offense together, if you would have been able to have the offense together with the quarterback during the preseason, would have maybe negated some of the sloppiness that you saw?
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20, and I knew that if we didn't come out and perform well, that was going to be the questions asked, and we'll evaluate everything, going forward.
You said it starts with yourself in terms of
Matt LaFleur, the winning head coach, Matt Nagy on the other end of the outcome. Let's listen to the Bears head coach.
All right, so to start, obviously unacceptable. Starts with me. So this just told the guys in there, this is not who we are. I was proud of our defense. I thought they played their ass off tonight. Offensively, not good enough, and we're going to fix it. Our guys know that. We have a locker room of high character people. That's why we bring these guys in, because what they do is they don't point fingers. The defense doesn't point fingers and say the offense should have played better. That's not how we roll. So we're going to lick our wounds right now. I want to give credit to Green Bay, Coach LaFleur, Coach Pettin, and their staff for putting together a good game plan, and give them credit. Our guys this is a test. It's a different type of loss than last year when we lost in a different way. It was a frustrating game. Couldn't get in a rhythm offensively, and then when we did get in a rhythm, we'd have penalties. And we couldn't field position, and that's, again, we got to be better. I got to be better, and I think our players understand that. They realize that. I also talked to them and told them that it is the first game of the year. There's a lot more games left, and so I know what kind of guys we have. I'm looking forward to figuring out how we get better, and we're going to do that.
As you get back to work this week, what's the top of your priority list?
Well, figure out how to score more points. 3 points is ridiculous.
Man, what happened offensively? Where did you think he got out of rhythm, and what prevented Mitch from finding the completions and kind of getting your flow going?
Yeah, just a little combination of everything. I think, again, I give credit to Coach Pettin on defense. I said it to you guys last year. He's a good defensive coordinator, and he does a lot of good things, and they do some things personnel-wise that they're able to do. He's always done that. But at the same time, I think that whether it was in the run game, I know we had a bunch. We ended up throwing a lot more than passing, and for whatever reason, we did. That's not what we want. Again, I don't know if I have an answer until I watch the game and I see why. I really don't have an answer, but a couple stick out to me. When you have 3rd and 1, you got to get to first. We had 2 3rd and 1s, and we didn't get it, and so. I know why, but that's not happening anymore. 3rd and 1, we're going to get to first.
4th and 10, Matt, where you went for it, what was it?
Slightly agitated and seemingly defiant, Matt Nagy right there, saying that 3 points is ridiculous. This is the reigning division champion, Chicago Bears. They did not have a non-touchdown game all of last season, and they open up 2019 with one.
I think the message was right. Nobody should point fingers, but if you look at if you listen to what he said, definitely they got to do a better job on offense. Some had to do with the play call. Don't put Cordell Patterson back there on 3rd and 1. Put your running backs in the backfield and give them the ball, let them hammer and get the first down.
Yep, I agree. 45 pass attempts is way too many in a 10-3 football game. You got to find a way to just get just basic ground game going. You don't need tricks, smoke and mirrors. Sometimes your offensive line is better than their guys. And honestly, with all the different looks that you were getting from Mike Pettin, if you would have just went straight ahead with the run game, you probably would have had more success.
Bring them out of that.
Exactly, and you'll run them right out of that 4 overload stuff. So they should have done more of that.
It's about Mitchell Trubisky. He has to play better. You can't just say we're going to run the ball as much as we throw it. He has to develop. We've seen Patrick Mahomes develop in this offense. It's the same offense. Yeah. He went before Patrick. He has to develop.
Gotta wonder what the Vikings were thinking at home tonight watching this one.
Although it was the same result this year as it was last year in Week 1, and the Bears came all the way back to win the division.
Yeah. So. They did that. Much more to come on NFL Total Access tonight, but first a look at the Season 2 official trailer of the Amazon original hit TV series Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. Be sure to watch Season 2 on November 1st, only on Prime Video.